chosen ones. Ever wonder why people can't help but stare at you? Why do they mimic your movements, try to match your tone, or fall silent when you enter the room? It's not your imagination. They feel your energy before you speak. The truth is, when you begin to awaken spiritually, something deep within you becomes activated, your sexual energy, or more precisely, your life force energy. This isn't about lust or seduction. This is about sacred energy that radiates from within you like a frequency only certain souls can decode. Sexual energy is at its core creative energy. It's the force responsible for all creation. In Eastern traditions like Kundalini Yoga, this energy is said to sit coiled at the base of your spine, waiting for the right moment to rise. And when it does, through spiritual awakening, self-awareness, and divine alignment, it transforms you into a walking magnet for blessings, opportunities, and attention, whether you seek it or not. Let's talk about Zion, a real example of a chosen one who embodied this truth. Zion never tried to fit in or chase validation. He was grounded, silent, and often overlooked. But when he stepped into his truth, when he started speaking with clarity, moving with intention, and aligning with his higher self, everything changed. People who once dismissed him began to follow him. Some were inspired, others tried to copy his every move. His energy wasn't arrogant or flashy, it was pure, intentional, and magnetic. It was the kind of presence that shifts the atmosphere. The reason his divine sexual energy was no longer dormant, it was awakened and aligned. That energy didn't just attract people, it attracted favor. Business opportunities appeared out of nowhere. New relationships bloomed. Respect came effortlessly, but with all that light came shadow. Some admired him, others envied him. Some tried to tear him down simply because they couldn't understand the invisible fire he carried. Here's the powerful truth. When you're spiritually awakened, your sexual energy becomes sacred currency. You're no longer just living, you're creating. Your energy becomes so refined, so vibrant, that others feel it without knowing what it is. In spiritual traditions like Taoism, this kind of energy is called Jing, a vital essence that when preserved and transmuted becomes the fuel for higher consciousness. In this state, you're not just attractive, you're influential. You're not just seen, you're felt. This is why people act differently around you. Some want to be close to your energy, others feel threatened. But the reaction is always strong because your presence is strong. And it's not just human attention you're attracting, it's divine attention. Blessings, breakthroughs, and synchronicities. They start appearing because your energy is aligned with universal intelligence. So don't be surprised when rooms shift. Don't shrink when people imitate you or envy you. Instead, honor the energy. Guard it. Use it wisely. This isn't about ego. It's about spiritual responsibility. You are divine fire in human form, and that fire, when respected, can light up paths not just for you, but for others who are ready to awaken too. Sexual energy, when united with spirit, isn't just powerful, it's unstoppable. Point 1, sexual energy, equal sign spiritual power in motion. Your sexual energy, it's not just for attraction. It's an ancient divine power, a life-giving force. And no, we're not just talking about physical intimacy. We're talking about the creative energy that built galaxies, moved prophets, and sparked revolutions. Sexual energy, also called sacred creative energy, is the essence of your manifestation power. The chosen ones don't just feel desire, they carry destiny. That tingling, magnetic energy you feel when you're spiritually aligned, that's not lust, that's divine potential revving its engine. In ancient traditions, think tantric mysticism, Taoist philosophy, and early Kabbalistic teachings, sexual energy wasn't something to suppress or squander, it was something to master. Yogis called it kundalini, a dormant serpent energy at the base of your spine that, when awakened through purity and purpose, rises up to ignite divine consciousness. The Egyptians encoded it into their symbolism. The prophets fasted and meditated to transmute it into divine revelation. And what about Jesus? He wasn't married, but he was powerfully magnetic. Not because of physical attraction, but because he walked with such intense purpose. His energy healed, convicted, and transformed anyone in proximity. That's divine sexual energy under spiritual authority. Chosen ones, your energy isn't ordinary, it's royal code. Most people scatter their sexual energy like it's candy. Quick hits of dopamine, validation, and temporary pleasure. But not you. You're called to channel it, to refine it through discipline, prayer, fasting, vision, and silence. When you protect this sacred fire, it becomes your compass. It guides your connections. It warns you when someone isn't aligned, and when you walk into a room, the frequency shifts. Not because you're showing skin or spitting game, but because your very presence is vibrating at a level the world rarely sees. You light up rooms like sacred fire, subtle but undeniable, warm, not flashy, but make no mistake, people feel you, even when they can't explain it. That's why some folks act weird around you, why others obsess, why the gossip follows. You're not just attractive, you're activating. Your presence exposes lies. Your confidence convicts people. Your clarity makes their confusion uncomfortable. Because while the world chases lust, you walk in legacy. And here's what makes your journey sacred. The more you align your sexual energy with your spiritual purpose, the more doors fly open. You start manifesting connections that respect your soul. Opportunities come not because you chase them, but because your energy summons them. Divine timing becomes normal. You don't have to force it, you just flow. You're not seducing the world, you're inspiring it. Your sexual energy in its highest form becomes favor, protection, abundance, and authority. It shields you from distractions, it magnetizes blessings. And when the right person meets your energy, they won't just want your body, they'll want to build with your soul. So guard your energy like a temple, starve the distractions, bless the path, and remember this truth. When a chosen one masters their sexual energy, they become unstoppable. You're not here to impress, you're here to ignite. That's why people are drawn to you, and why others secretly compete for your power, because you're not just walking flesh, you're walking divine fire. Point 2, people are drawn and also confused. Your presence can confuse people, chosen one. One moment they're clapping for you, praising your light, singing your name, and the next they're secretly hoping you trip. Why? Because you didn't change. They just don't know how to interpret you. That's the mystery of sacred energy. It has a frequency so rare it stirs up everything around it, good, bad, pure, and impure. Some are uplifted by your energy, others are triggered. That's not your fault, it's your power. You see, when you walk into a room as your authentic self, you're not just being, you're activating. You're an atmosphere shifter. Without saying a word, your spirit commands the air to adjust. People feel it before they understand it. And here's the kicker, your authenticity exposes their mask. Your confidence reveals their insecurity. Your clarity disrupts their confusion. Your peace unsettles their chaos. That's what sacred energy does. It reveals what's real and what's counterfeit. It doesn't ask for applause. It doesn't seek revenge. It simply is. And that isness is enough to create a ripple. Many won't even realize why they feel some type of way about you. They'll say, there's something about you. But what they really mean is, I feel exposed in your presence and I'm not sure why. That's the divine paradox. Some people will be magnetized to you, trying to absorb your glow. They'll copy how you dress, how you talk, and how you move, hoping they can steal what only inner alignment can generate. But what they don't realize is energy cannot be mimicked. That glow, that's not aesthetics, that's deep inner work. That's divine favor earned through fire, faith, and silence. You didn't just show up like this, you became this. And there are others, oh yes, who will try to seduce you into giving your power away. Not just through romance, but through flattery, manipulation, and even pity. They think if they get close enough, they can drain you or tame you. But sacred energy doesn't submit to manipulation. It recognizes it instantly. That's why people call you hard to read or guarded. No, you're just wise. You've learned to preserve your frequency because not every environment deserves your full volume. Then there are the ones who will try to destroy you passively or aggressively, hoping to dim what they can't duplicate. These are the ones who gossip, slander, mock, and twist your story. But here's a divine truth. Lies are allergic to truth, and when the truth walks in, the lies scatter like roaches in the light. Don't get mad. That's just proof that your presence is doing its job. You're revealing what they tried to hide. Scripture says, do not cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn and tear you to pieces. Translation, stop giving your sacred essence to people, places, or paths that don't honor your soul. Everyone might want access, but not everyone deserves it. Being chosen isn't about being liked, it's about being aligned. You weren't sent here to blend in. You were sent here to disrupt, lovingly, spiritually, and unapologetically. So let them stare, let them talk, let them try to compete. You're not in a race, You're the reward. The reason they can't figure you out is because you weren't made to fit their formula. Your presence carries divine math, a code only heaven understands. And when you stay centered in that truth, no imitation, no attack, and no confusion can touch your peace. Stay grounded, chosen one. Stay glowing. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs your sacred original. Point 3, your energy heals and triggers. This one really hits the soul, chosen one. Your sexual energy, when rooted in sacredness, not seduction, isn't just attractive, it's healing. Yes, healing. Not because you're trying to be seductive or even mysterious, but because your energy carries frequency. And when that frequency is aligned, pure, and divinely protected, it emits a resonance that calls people in like a lighthouse in a storm. That's why people open up to you in line at the store, why someone will break down crying in your presence without knowing why strangers seem to want to be near you without saying much. Your aura doesn't scream for attention, it feels like home, like peace, like safety. But let's flip this coin, not everyone wants peace. Peace can be confronting because your calmness doesn't just soothe, it exposes. It exposes the chaos other people have normalized. And this is where things get complicated. See, most people are walking around with deep, unhealed wounds masked as personalities. And then here you come, grounded, glowing, sovereign. You're not trying to fix anyone, not trying to be anyone. You're just being, and that's exactly what rattles them. Psychologically speaking, what's happening here is energetic dissonance. According to studies in behavioral psychology, when people are exposed to someone who embodies traits they repress or lack, like self-love, authenticity, or presence, it creates discomfort. It creates cognitive dissonance, which is the mental tension that arises when a person holds two conflicting beliefs or realities. Your presence says, healing is possible, while their pain says, this is just how I am. And that clash, that's what triggers them. So what do? Some try to tear you down with subtle jabs, gossip, or flat-out projection. They'll say you're too much, too intense, or think you're better, or label your confidence as arrogance. But deeper down, it's not even about you, it's about what you represent. You've become the mirror, and not everyone's ready to look. And then there's the other group, the ones who try to sleep with you, not out of love, but out of desperation. They sense your wholeness and think, if I could just get close to that, maybe I'll feel whole too. But intimacy doesn't transfer frequency. You can't borrow alignment through flesh. It's spiritual theft disguised as desire. And it's not love. It's confusion wearing perfume. You, chosen one, are a carrier of divine energy. That means your sexual energy doesn't belong to the streets, it belongs to the sacred. This isn't about shame or fear, it's about discernment. Your aura is magnetic because your spirit is clean, and that magnetism, it's both a blessing and a burden. Because people will either want to rise with you, or rob you of what you have. So protect your energy, not with walls, but with wisdom. Watch who reaches for you. Are they coming to heal, or are they coming to steal? Do they want to grow with you, or do they want to consume you? Ask the questions your soul already knows the answers to. You are not here to be used as medicine for someone who refuses to take their own. You are a healer, not a fix. You are light, not a flashlight for someone else's darkness. And your sexual energy is a gift, not a currency. Remember this, chosen one. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to vibrate at a frequency that shakes the dust off every soul you pass. That's why they feel it. That's why they react. And that's why you must keep your energy sacred, because the real ones won't just want your light, they'll honor it. Point 4. You don't chase, yet you're chased. Have you ever noticed, chosen one, how you don't need to shout for your blessings, force them to appear, or hustle endlessly to be seen? Somehow, without you asking, the right doors open. The right people show up. The timing is always uncanny, divine even. That's not coincidence, and it's not some mystical trick of fate. It's alignment. It's the natural law of vibration in action. While the world around you clamors for attention, amplifying noise, chasing trends, shouting their worth, you walk in silence, anchored in your truth. And that silence is anything but empty. It speaks louder than the loudest voice. It announces your presence before you even open your mouth. You see, when a person is deeply aligned with their purpose and identity, they emit a frequency, an invisible resonance that doesn't demand recognition. It attracts it. This is not some vague spiritual concept. Even quantum physics acknowledges that everything in the universe vibrates, and like frequencies, attract like frequencies. You, chosen one, are tuned into something higher. That's why your blessings aren't random. They're drawn to your energy like metal to a magnet. In a world that's been conditioned to chase, you've unlocked the rare art of attraction. Not by seduction or manipulation, but by simply being in tune with your soul. When your intentions are clear, your actions are aligned, and your energy is uncluttered by desperation, you stop chasing and start receiving. This is what spiritual alignment looks like. You no longer have to knock on every door because the ones meant for you begin to open on their own. Why? Because your energy speaks on your behalf. That's not ego, it's essence. You are not broadcasting a message of lack. You're radiating presence. You are the signal. This is why strangers stare, why opportunities land in your lap when others are striving in vain. Your energy is doing the heavy lifting, and the irony is, while others exhaust themselves trying to be seen, your power grows in the shadows, in the quiet, in the unseen, in the stillness that terrifies those addicted to noise. And let's talk about something even deeper, your sexual energy. This is perhaps the most misunderstood force in our world, often reduced to lust or leveraged for validation. It's actually one of the most sacred energies a human can harness. In spiritual traditions like Kundalini Yoga and Taoism, sexual energy is known as the power that creates worlds. When a chosen one becomes conscious of this inner fire and stops spilling it through meaningless attention or scattered desires, it transforms from distraction into creation. That same energy that others waste trying to impress or seduce becomes, in you, the fuel for manifestation. Think of it like the gravitational pull of the moon, which moves entire oceans. You, chosen one, when centered and focused, possess that same kind of pull. People may mistake it for charm or charisma, but it's far more than that. It's spiritual magnetism, and it's not based on your appearance, status, or anything external. It's vibration. When your inner world is in order, your outer world begins to realign itself in response. People sense it, even if they can't explain it. They feel the peace you carry, the unbothered, untouchable presence that says, I am who I am. I need not compete. And they either admire it or resent it. Often both. Because what they see in you is what they're desperately trying to find in themselves. That's why the wrong people get tired around you, not because you drain them, but because they can't keep up with your purity, your purpose, your pace. The ones who are not meant for your journey will always feel like they're swimming upstream in your presence, while you glide forward with divine momentum. You don't have to fight for your spot when your spot was carved by the Creator. All you have to do is stay in flow, stay faithful, stay present, let others race ahead. You're walking with destiny. They'll whisper, they'll mimic, they'll flex what they think matters. But deep down they know you're different. You're not trying to win temporary attention. You're building legacy. And legacy doesn't scream, it echoes. You're not in the hustle culture, you're in the divine timeline. While they're scrambling to go viral, you're becoming eternal. That difference shakes people, it confuses them, and sometimes it angers them. Because when your peace is unshakable, it reveals their chaos. When your stillness is strategic, it disrupts their need for performance. So let them wonder, let them talk, let them project. You don't owe them an explanation. Your calm is not emptiness, it's full of intention. Your quiet is not weakness, it's wisdom. And your power? It's not performative, it's prophetic. You were not chosen to blend in. You were chosen to shift atmospheres simply by existing. So don't beg, don't chase, don't perform, just align. Because when you do, everything meant for you, every connection, every breakthrough, every blessing can't help but find its way to you. Point 5, divine favor is making you magnetic. There's no spell stronger than divine favor. And chosen one, whether the world likes it or not, you're drenched in it. This isn't luck, it's not a coincidence, it's anointing. People look at you and try to rationalize it. Maybe it's your skincare routine, maybe it's your confidence, maybe it's something in your eyes. But what they can't grasp, what confuses them to the point of envy, is that your glow isn't man-made. It's soul deep. It's the byproduct of walking in alignment with your calling. That radiance you carry, it's not filtered, it's favor. It's the light of someone who's survived battles that would have broken most and still showed up, still smiled, still served purpose. Your presence alone shifts the atmosphere. Your energy speaks before your mouth does. That's because God's been elevating you behind the scenes. What you're walking in now is not new, it's just finally visible. It's like a seed that was buried underground, growing silently in darkness until one day it breaks the surface, and now the sunlight catches it. Now the world can see what heaven already knew. You were chosen, you were set apart. But let's get something straight. Divine favor doesn't come without friction. Favor exposes the fake. When God begins to elevate you, people around you start to reveal their true colors. Friends get weird. Family gets distant. Colleagues start acting shady. Why? Because your rise disrupts the illusion they were comfortable in. You don't have to say a word. Your existence alone exposes the lies they told themselves while they were busy doubting you, gossiping about you, and copying you in secret. You were busy becoming. You didn't throw shade. You cast light. And that light made shadows panic. See, chosen ones don't need to clap back. They just continue to climb. And that alone causes chaos. It's a spiritual law. When truth enters, lies scramble. When authenticity steps forward, pretense flees. And when God begins to reveal your next level, the enemy gets louder. Some people will celebrate you in public, but compete with you in private. They want close access, not to support you, but to study you. They'll mimic your energy, your language, and your mission, but they can't replicate your favor. Because divine favor isn't for sale. It's assigned. And one more thing, your sexual energy, it's divine too. It's not just physical, it's spiritual currency. The chosen are often highly magnetic, not because of vanity, but because of vibration. You radiate life force. You carry sacred energy, that attraction people feel around you. It's their spirit recognizing power. But here's the warning, when you misuse that energy, you delay your elevation. Sexual energy is not a toy, it's a test. How you steward it reflects how ready you are for greater responsibility. In ancient teachings, this is known as sexual transmutation, redirecting that sacred energy into your mission, your creativity, and your purpose. Not everyone deserves access to you. You're not just a body, you're a vessel. Carry yourself like one. God is watching, and not in a fearful, punishing way, but in a loving, intentional way. He's checking your discipline, your humility, and your heart. Because favor without foundation leads to collapse. But favor with character, that's legacy, that's impact. So stay prayed up, stay focused. Don't let temporary attention distract you from eternal purpose. The higher you go, the more discernment you'll need. And remember this, some people will question why you were chosen. But let them wonder, let them talk, let them speculate. Because the truth is simple, God saw something in you they never did, and He's not finished yet. Point 6, not everyone deserves access. This is where boundaries become sacred, chosen one. Just because your presence lights up the room doesn't mean every soul is entitled to stand in your radiance. Not everyone who smiles at you is your supporter. Some are spectators, hoping to catch a reflection of your glow without ever doing the inner work themselves. Others are spiritual leeches, drawn not by love, but by the energy you radiate. And make no mistake, your energy is currency, not the kind that's printed, but the kind that's felt. And in a world starving for authenticity, your vibration is gold. That's why you must guard your energy like royalty. You wouldn't see a king letting just anyone stroll into his court and sit on his throne. You wouldn't see a queen letting everyone wear her crown. So why do we, as chosen ones, sometimes feel guilty for having standards? Boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They are gates that decide who's worthy of stepping into your temple. And a divine temple deserves sacred protection. People are attracted to light, but not always for pure reasons. Psychologists call it narcissistic supply. When individuals seek out others not for mutual growth, but as a source to boost their ego or feed off their strength. The danger? These individuals can be charming, even well-meaning, but underneath their flattery is a hunger to attach themselves to your purpose. Not to support it, but to consume it. The worst part? They often don't even know they're doing it. So how do you know the difference? It's all in the energy exchange. After spending time with someone, do you feel recharged or drained? Do they honor your boundaries or push against them with subtle guilt trips, manipulation, or emotional confusion? Do they recognize your mission or constantly distract you from it? These are the questions you must ask, chosen one. Because when you're on divine assignment, you can't afford to be weighed down by those who mistake access for entitlement. Let's get one thing clear. Your light is not a public service. It's a divine calling. It has purpose, direction, and power. And while yes, you are a healer, you are not everyone's medicine. Healing is a sacred contract, mutual, intentional, and divinely aligned. Just because someone is wounded doesn't mean you are called to be their bandage, especially when your mission is to build, to speak, to transform, not to babysit brokenness that refuses to grow. And here's where it gets real. When you start enforcing boundaries, you will lose people. But hear this clearly, that's not a loss. That's alignment. Because anyone offended by your growth was never rooting for your glow. The ones who truly value your spirit will never question your need for solitude, your silence, or your standards. They won't just be near your light, they'll bring their own. Together you'll spark something bigger than yourselves. Chosen one, your energy is not cheap. It is earned through lifetimes of resilience, spiritual battles, divine downloads, and personal transformation. It carries frequencies that shift atmospheres and stir the unseen. You've cried too many sacred tears to discount your worth for temporary company. You're not here to be everything to everyone. You're here to be exactly what God assigned you to be, powerful, focused, and fully present in your purpose. So don't flinch when you have to say no. Don't dim your light for people who bring shade. Don't apologize for walking away when your spirit says this isn't it. Boundaries aren't rejection, they're divine protection. Because your mission is bigger than being liked. You are not just chosen, you are anointed. And you can't fulfill your destiny while constantly handing out backstage passes to people who haven't earned a seat at the table. Remember this, every moment you waste on someone draining your fire is a moment stolen from the world you're meant to ignite. Point 7, this energy is a gift. Use it for God's glory. Finally, let's bring it all home, chosen one. Your sexual energy is not just about attraction, it's about ascension. It's not just there for fleeting pleasure, it's a sacred raw power encoded into your soul for divine creation. It's the Shakti, the life force, the God breathing through you type of energy that doesn't just make love, it makes worlds. This is the part they don't tell you. That same spark that fuels intimacy can also be harnessed to write books that awaken nations, speak words that pierce through spiritual amnesia, build platforms that shift global consciousness, or birth movements that ignite purpose in millions. Why? Because you, chosen one, weren't born to just experience life. You were born to recreate it. Your energy is magnetic, yes. People feel it before you even open your mouth. You don't walk into a room, you shift the vibration of the room. Why? Because your energy is rooted in something higher. And your sensual essence isn't something you give away lightly, it's sacred currency. When it's aligned with God's will, it becomes a divine weapon of creation. A force so strong it doesn't just seduce, it transforms. That's why people obsess over you. That's why you draw attention without trying. Your aura whispers things to their spirit that their ego isn't ready to hear. Science even backs this. In energetic studies, the sacral chakra, your center of sexuality and creativity, is directly connected to how you express emotion, innovate ideas, and form soul bonds. When blocked, people feel dull, uninspired, and drained. But when it's open and aligned with the divine, you become a superconductor of spiritual electricity. Ideas pour in, visions become clear. You don't just desire, you manifest. It's no coincidence that many geniuses throughout history, from Nikola Tesla to Maya Angelou, often spoke of transmuting sensual energy into pure creative fire. That's sacred alchemy, and you carry it in your soul. But let's get real. This power has been under attack. From a young age, society tried to shame it, dilute it, and misuse it. They told you to either suppress it or exploit it, that your worth was based on who wanted you or who you gave it to. But now, you're reclaiming it. You're not here to leak energy into dead-end connections. You're here to build temples with it, to speak truth with it, to heal wounds with it. Because your sexual energy is spiritual. It doesn't just make bodies move, it makes dimensions shift. And your womb, whether it's physical or energetic, is blessed. Not everyone can carry galaxies in their soul like you do. Not everyone can turn pain into poetry, trauma into testimony, or desire into divine purpose. You can. That's the assignment. To honor your temple, to treat your body like holy ground, to align with God, pray over your passion, and create from a place of pure intention. You're not just here to attract admirers, you're here to inspire transformation. So stay rooted in prayer, chosen one. Stay protected in your purpose. Guard your energy like the sacred fire it is, because it truly is. Science even backs what ancient texts have long declared. The human body radiates an electromagnetic field, and your thoughts, intentions, and emotions influence its frequency. When you're aligned with divine purpose through prayer, gratitude, and obedience, you're not just mentally or emotionally in tune, you're literally vibrating at a higher frequency. That's why people stare when you walk into a room. That's why strangers feel a shift in the atmosphere when you speak. They sense something sacred, something unexplainable. It's not ego, it's essence. And when you channel this divine energy in the right direction, you become magnetic, not because you're trying to be, but because divinity cannot be ignored. Your energy isn't for consumption or casual access. You're not here to be drained by toxic people or cheap attention. You're here to create, to birth things into existence, ideas, healing, beauty, and impact. When Scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, it's revealing how your words can become a vessel for divine breath. So let the world witness what happens when God breathes through your womb, your words, and your work. You're chosen, you're powerful, and you're just getting started. Don't shrink just because the light makes others squint. You're not being extra, you're being elevated. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. The reason people mimic you, envy you, or even try to copy your walk or your wisdom is because they feel your frequency, even if they don't consciously understand it. But you must stay awake, stay rooted. That power is sacred. And it was never meant to impress or seduce. It was given to you to bless and uplift. Let others compete if they must. That's their playground. You're not even in the same game. You're on a mission. You, the light, the reflection of something far greater shining through you. So stay aligned, stay pure, keep your heart clean, your motives honest, and your focus locked on heaven. And when you do, the blessings won't just come to you, they'll flow through you. Amen to that. Like, share and subscribe for more messages that keep your soul glowing. And until next time, chosen ones, protect your power and walk boldly in it, because this world hasn't seen the best of you yet.